where the author is describing her various experience. This book is published by ICR, and Mrs. Pratibha Trivedi tells us about various experiences she has experienced in gardening, wherever she was during her tenure in government service. She used to grow a number of plants. So it's description of her own gardening experience. So I think this book is a good one. You can read this. So here is another book. Title is Teach Yourself Gardening by Pramila Mehra. This book is good for beginners because it helps us understand basic aspects of gardening, principles of gardening. So you can go through this book to understand basic aspects of gardening. Now here is another book by Roman Kapoor. This is also a very general book describing many aspects of gardening. So for home gardeners, this book is good to start and learn about basic aspects. A Temple Writes written book Flowers and Gardens. This book tells about description of plants. When you think of some any book that describes plants A to Z manner, then it is of good health. It tells us a lot apart from plants. Uh, Now, when we think of gardens, then flowers become important. So, for this, we have Vishnu Sarup book on garden flowers. This book also gives us good description about various flowers that can be grown in a garden. Now, here is a book. You can see its name is Gardening Guide, and this book is written by owners of Saturn Seeds, a Calcutta-based seed firm. Uh, since we are in Delhi, there are also Delhi-based good garden seed suppliers and sellers. Say, for example, Ronak Seeds or Omex Seed. There are many, and so imagine them writing a book and describing all the basic aspects of gardening and sharing their experience. So it is that kind of book written by owners of Sutton Seeds. This book describes all basic aspects, and apart from that, it also gives us some insight into organic gardening. So this is again a book that can help beginners and professionals as well. Here is Dr. Ekta Chaudhary's Garden Up. Many of you might be aware of work of this author. Well experienced, well very knowledgeable. So when you are looking for some garden tips that includes sound technical knowledge, particularly about various environmental parameters or aspects that need to be taken care of while doing gardening, then this book is of good help. It is good for beginners and for those who are doing advanced gardening. Now, this is a textbook titled Ornamental Gardening. See, when we talk of gardening in general, it is of course something that has aesthetic value. But when we talk of home gardening in detail, then ornamental gardening word brings in our mind ornamental plants. The good number of foliage plants that we see around us during summer season, some in bloom, some without flowers. There are colorful foliage plants. They they are grown just for their ornamental value. In case someone is interested in bonsai, then he can get tips from book like this one, bonsai tips. Yes, for those also, there is a book who wish to plant on rocks. So this is a book called Rock Gardening, and this book, written by P. Kachru and Priya Darbari, is providing us basic information on what sort of plants can be grown on rocks. They have described many plants that require less water, which can be able to sustain this type of hard parameters of water scarcity, water stress, and even in adverse climate, including some succulents also. So this book tells about all those plants that can be grown on rocks. One more book on indoor gardening, written by S.C. Day. Yes, it's good for beginners. It describes plants in detail. Then there is one more book by Vishnu Swarup, who's this author. We went through the flower book also. So this book again describes indoor garden plants you can grow through. And the last book currently I am having in my present personal stock is regarding orchids. Orchids are